Let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal! Go! 6! It's beautiful! Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up and let's go.
It is the Rush Radio Show. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. We are powered by Willis Automotive. It's going to be nice today. Good day to go to the car lot and pick yourself out a brand new car. Whether that's brand new or brand new used. Hit Willis Automotive up for your new car. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're watching right now. Hit that like button. Set your notifications so you know when we go live. Follow us on the social media channels, X, Facebook, and Instagram. Good to have you along on a Wednesday. Ross, it's my wife's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to Aunt Jeanette.
Yeah, she's 54 today, so we're the same age for a little bit. I'll be 55 in September, but yeah, my wife's birthday. I haven't told her happy birthday yet.
Well, did she wake up with you?
No, she's out like a light.
Yeah.
She's snoring.
Then that
about
was
20 feet away.
your first birthday present to her was not waking her up to say, hey, are you awake? Hey, you awake? Hey, happy birthday.
Should I be
away? That would be the rudest way to wake somebody up on their birthday.
Should I be that cheese dick that like puts a picture up of her and wishes her happy birthday on social media?
It all depends on if that means something to your significant other.
I don't think it means crap to her.
Then don't do it.
Yeah.
Then don't do it. If that would mean something to her, man, Trav, I've learned a lot these last couple of years about like these love language things. I always would have scoffed at that. That's something I would have been like, shut up, you and your horoscopes. Love is love, and everybody shows love the same and feels love the same. No, it's not. That's not true at all. To some people, some acts are corny and actually will do harm to your relationship, and to some people, those same acts are exactly what they're wanting, needing to fill that fulfillment of a relationship. So you got to know your partner. And, the best way to know him, by the way, is ask him, hey, do you want me to put something on social media that professes my love to you? And if they go goo-goo, if they go, yeah, okay, wow, that's easy, simple, and free. Check this out. Love this person. If that doesn't matter to them, you find out what it is that that matters to them.
Okay, this is the coolest comment I've seen in a long time. LM Homestead says, "Morning squad, my newborn is listening to his first show, 18 hours old. Congratulations, LM. I wish I knew what your real name.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yes.
That is, we had found out Travis is going to be a grandpa last week. That's the greatest news, the best news, Homestead. Congratulations. You're 18 hours old. Enjoy these first couple of weeks, right, Trav? This time when they're that newborn and they're just cuddly and soft and they haven't shit up their back yet.
And they will do that.
That baby, boy or girl, is going to poop at some time, LM. Laying on its back, it's going to poop and defy physics.
You're like, how did this happen?
How did poop get here? How did that happen?
And in the first couple days, the poop is like tar. It's like this thick, gross, like sticky poop.
There's a name for it. Mark.
I don't
There's
even know.
There's a name. It's so different and gross. It has a whole different name.
Yeah,
but welcome to fatherhood or motherhood or this thing.
Wish you would have put your son's name in there. We could have said he could have had his name on the radio for the first time at 18 months old. That'd have been cool.
Yeah, congratulations on all that. That comment had blown past me there, so I didn't see that. Glad you pointed that one out. I love the comments, dude. I don't know what it is about it. Seeing Jason and Maddie before we even go on, they're like, "Morning, boys." Morning, guys.
Yeah. We've said all along that we are community. Even when we started this show 14 and a half years ago, I first looked at you and said, I want to start a community.
Stop it, Tyler.
Well,
Tyler said his name is Tyler Ross or Travis Ross.
But yeah, and the community is thick. It's a tight knit group, and now the community talks to one another throughout the show, which is kind of. I mean, the side conversations that take place, we don't read them all because they're all having conversations with one another. But it's fun to watch people get to know one another, right?
So let's talk about the. Yesterday, I had a lot of interactions about the show. Okay, but one that you just reminded me of was my dad. So I'm having dinner with my dad last night. He invited me and the kids out to Texas Roadhouse. By the way, did you know Texas Roadhouse has a song that they play that's called Texas Roadhouse? Did you know that?
I did not know that till you texted me last night.
Dude, you're lucky you didn't get a video. I couldn't get the video fired up in time. They play this thing at like, what's the old line on Spinal Tap? They turn it up to 11. The music's fine. You're sitting there having dinner, and then all of a sudden it's like, bow, 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 bow. You're like, what the hell?
Does it have words to it?
Oh yeah, dude. The song is all about going to Texas Roadhouse.
All right, sing some of it for me.
It said there. Okay, so there was part of it that reminded me of an Eagles song. I think it even said, "Not on a
Take
long
it easy."
It wasn't on a long dusty highway, cool wind in my hair, but it was like, oh shoot,
That's Hotel California. On a long dusty highway.
Yeah. That's why I said it's not. It had some sort of. I'm blowing it here. I'm blowing it. It was like up ahead in the distance. That was it. Up ahead in the distance, I see a light.
I saw the shimmering light.
It wasn't a shimmering light, but it was up ahead in the distance. I saw a light. You know, I'm lost in the oasis, and I get up there, and it's Texas Roadhouse. And the Texas Roadhouse, or however I don't remember.
So
it sounded like Travis Tritt singing it.
So it's a country song with a Metallica feel to it?
Nah, I'm adding the Metallica. It's a country song with a country feel to it, with a Bob Seger. That's what I would say.
Okay.
Remember how country music used to kind of have a little rock and roll to it?
So it's Texas Roadhouse with Bob Seger singing Kathmandu.
It was interesting. So anyway, during dinner, Dad says, hey, I want to figure out how to do. My sister every morning turns on her TV and watches us on YouTube.
Okay.
On her TV. Dad's like, I want to figure out how to do that. So, Dad, the only remote that my dad will use is the DirecTV remote. Like every TV he gets, we have to set up all the stuff so that he can, because that's the only remote he wants to use, right? He doesn't want to turn the TV on and the DirecTV on. I want to use this one remote. So I'm like, I can't do that. But in a couple of weeks, Travis and I are going to be on Facebook. And that'll be easier for you because right now he's using the thing that we set up for him where he goes to therushradio.com. Yeah. I said, when you go, a couple of weeks, you're going to be on Facebook. And he goes, oh, is that when I'll be able to start commenting and add to the comments? And Eli and I kind of shot each other a look, right? And Dad saw the look. And he's like, whoa, what was that? What's the look? I'm like, Dad, you might not want to be a part of the comments. And Eli's like, yeah, Papa, internet comments get a little bit interesting.
That's fine.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the first one. Here's another one. So Mark Hanrahan reaches out to me yesterday, and he's like, hey, the Core Power.
Brought to you by Atlanta Coca-Cola Bottling.
Dude, this stuff is so good. And I'm not... It is endorsement, but this stuff is so good. And I like drinking it all by itself, but yeah. Mark said, mix it with diet root beer.
Really?
Low-calorie, high-protein root beer float. So then... girlfriend Courtney says, hey, you know what I've heard a lot of people do with their Core Power? They put it in their coffee as creamer. So that's what I'm trying today. That's my... But man, it tastes like a milkshake, so I think I just enjoy it better by itself.
I got Core Power coming my way. That's going to be like my breakfast, right? That's going to be all I have for breakfast is a Core Power. Get me started, Either I'll go with the 42 grams of protein or the 26 grams of protein, but that'll get me started for the day. Because look how buff I am. You can see how
We're getting
buff
there,
I
buddy. I like how we both. This is the second time in a week I've inadvertently twinned with a friend. We didn't plan the gray T-shirt day. We just both sat down, turned on the cameras, and went, "Hey, gray T-shirt."
Yeah, you're wearing a gray T-shirt.
Gray T-shirt.
I'm finally wearing a T-shirt that fits. This is a large. I'm now wearing a large.
Yeah.
I haven't. But see, I'm scared to get larges because Anjanette's always buying me larges, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" She goes, "Like, you need clothes that fit." I'm like, "Yeah, but if I get fat again, then I got to throw all these clothes out. I don't want to throw clothes out."
So you're not throwing away your fat guy clothes.
Yeah, she's starting to. I come into the closet. I'm like, "Where'd that go?"
I think after a year, dude, I feel like
I hope so.
it's
I
kind
hope
of
so.
become a lifestyle thing for you now.
It has, and I'll veer every now and then when it comes to desserts, because I love me. Carrot cake is my weakness, and that's a sign of old age when carrot cake is your choice dessert. But carrot cake is my weakness. You throw a carrot cake in front of me, I'll eat the whole damn thing. I'll eat the whole damn thing.
I get made fun of. You know what my old man foodie thing is? I will get cottage cheese as a side. And I didn't know until recently that's a sign of old age also.
Okay, I will rate a salad bar if it has cottage cheese or not. Like if you don't have cottage cheese on the salad bar, you're not a salad bar. Because I need
good salad bars in Omaha. We have a couple. We have a few in Des Moines that are like, man. And I'll be honest, salad bars aren't a selling point for me.
Oh, they kind of are for me.
I have a lot of buddies that are, but they're like, man, let's find a good salad bar. I'm like, okay, rabbits.
Well, because usually it's like $8.99 and it's all you can eat. And you're like, okay, I'm going to load up on the salad bar.
Yeah, but it's like $11 for a cheeseburger someplace, right? At the same place that you can get a salad bar for $8, for $3 more, you can get a meal.
True, but once the burger's gone and the fries are gone, you don't get any more. You go through that first big old mountain of salad bar, and you go, you know what? I think I'm going to make another run. It's nonstop.
Is lettuce anything more than like grass and water?
Fiber. It's fiber.
It's fluffed
it helps
up
you poop.
grass. It's a blade of grass that bloomed.
Yes. And that's why we like it, because you load up the lettuce, then you put the cucumbers on top of it.
You're just putting a meal on top of the grass.
Exactly. And it's all you can eat. It's all you can eat. When you were over here last time, I took you to that pizza place that had a salad bar. I got the salad bar.
And I went through and I got a salad because of the peer pressure thing. Like, well, I'm not going to be the weirdo that does, because everybody around us is like, you're not getting a salad? The salad bar is up there. You paid for the salad bar. So instead of going through that whole charade, I just go to the salad bar. Get the exact same thing every time. Exact same thing from any salad bar I go to. Every now and again, throw some cottage cheese on there. But cottage cheese to me is more of like almost like a dessert, like a side. It goes by itself. It doesn't go on.
I would agree with you.
I'm not having it touch other things.
I've seen a couple recipes come through my Facebook feed lately about cottage cheese, like pancakes. Like you can make like other foods with cottage cheese and the cottage cheese replaces like the main ingredient. And I'm like, maybe I should try that. Make pancakes with cottage cheese. And what would that taste like? But
I think
you're right though. When you start like really going, hey, do they have cottage cheese? That's a sign of old age.
Even when you order it, you get a look. If you're looking for it, you get this half pause of like,
yeah,
I didn't think you were 83. Oh, well, good for your age.
How long is it before we start taking the advantage of the AARP discount of like get to the Golden Corral at 4?
I saw a receipt the other day that said, like if you're plus 55, tell your waiter for the senior discount. And I thought to myself, I'm sneaking up on it, baby.
Well, I'll be there in September. I will be there in September.
For the discounts.
Tony, and next time, and you should go, if I hang out with him, do I get his discount? If I'm sitting at the table, do we all get the 55 and
he's
over
picking
discount?
up the bill.
Yeah.
You're going to charge this old man full price?
See what he just did to me? He already passed the bill off to me.
And called you an old man. Double shot.
Man.
Bang, bang, bang. All right, so one of the guys wrote in and said something about AE cottage cheese, and I am that much of a connoisseur, I can tell if it's Anderson Erickson or not.
So on a blind taste test, if we took like 5 different cottage cheeses.
Yeah. I can tell you, in fact, with the Anderson Erickson one, I could probably tell you what the different I mean, that's not too difficult, but like they have salt and pepper, they have sea salt. And then the greatest one is called Mr. E's Garden Veggie Cottage Cheese. It's the best cottage cheese ever made. It's off the chart. Shouldn't be considered cottage cheese. Should be considered a delicacy, probably.
Is there a vegetable that is a sign of old age? Because I'm an asparagus guy.
That might be the one. That might be the one, because I've come around on asparagus.
Yeah.
Brussels sprouts.
I like Brussels sprouts.
Launched those at Lucky Horse, I remember I was like, man, people eat Brussels sprouts. And then I had them the first time. I'm like, oh, that's my new favorite vegetable. When you make them with maple syrup and sprinkle pecans or whatever that is. Not pecans. Yeah. I think it's peanuts on it. Oh.
See, that just makes it unhealthy. But Brussels sprouts are like bitter. So you have to like dress them up with other things to make them taste good.
Yeah, whatever they dress them up with, that dress looks real pretty like.
What is the go-to salad bar in Central Iowa?
Right now, I would say it's Chicago's Speakeasy. There's a couple of them in town that are really good, but like when the guys at the office are like, "Oh, we want a salad bar," and again, not my thing, but that's the one. That's the place that we go to. I don't think any of Bruno's places have a salad bar. It's been kind of a thing of the past.
Yeah, because you got to maintain it. You got to fill it up all the time.
The
People
other
take
one
advantage
I would
of
have
it.
thought of, Trav, is the one I would have said would have been Spaghetti Works. Done.
Pizza Ranch has a big old salad bar with their pizza bar, don't they? You
Yeah.
just rolled your eyes. You're not a Pizza Ranch guy?
No.
It's okay.
No, I'm
now,
not.
You went to Texas Roadhouse last night. Does Texas Roadhouse have a salad bar?
No.
Did you get a salad with your steak?
No.
As they're singing, Texas Roadhouse.
The volume. And my dad called it. Because, like, all of a sudden the volume went up real loud, and we were like, what the? I mean, like, noticeable. We all kind of sat up because we were having a normal conversation. We're like, man, this is weird. And Dad said, I bet that's an indication to the team that they have to do something. I bet they're all going to start doing something here pretty soon. And sure enough, about that time, they like lined up and did some dance.
Were they in cowboy hats?
No, just in their normal uniforms. I did, and listen, I'm not knocking that. I did that exact same thing when I worked at the first rendition of Texas Roadhouse was called Lone Star Steakhouse. Do you remember Lone Star?
Yeah, I think there's still one over here.
Oh, is it really? I worked at a Lone Star for a long time.
You worked at a Lone Star?
Yes, I did.
Were you a waiter? Were you a short end cook? Were you a dishwasher?
No.
Busboy?
I was host. Yeah, just kind of, and barkeep type of guy.
Skinny little Ross. Hey, welcome to Lone Star.
Dude, and I looked like I was 12.
You still look like you're 12.
But I got the beard now.
Yeah, okay.
I looked like a child, and man, the things I saw and learned at that bar.
This, and somebody just brought it up in the chat room, but it's one of the things. Salad bars went like the way of the dodo during COVID. Remember, they just shut all salad bars down.
That makes sense.
But you're like, remember the things that we were never going to do again during COVID? We were never going to eat at a salad bar again. We were never going to shake hands again. We were never going to
hug a person.
Yeah, never going to hug a person. All that's come back. I go to a salad bar.
Because my mom died during that time, so a little bit of this stuff hits home. We didn't go through this charade. Do you remember when they would do the thing at nursing homes where they would keep the person inside, like wheel them up to the glass
and let them look through the window and say it's like you're in jail. You're like you're visiting me at the prison.
When my mom was sick, when my mom was sick in the hospital, they had rules that only 1 or 2 people could be in there at a time. And so at first we were like, yeah, we'll abide by that. Well, then after a couple days, it was like, oh, she's not getting out of there. Well, fuck this. Like, we're going in there. And then we ended up doing home hospice just to get out of that thing of people coming in to check to make sure that your dying mom didn't have too many people in her room. It was gross. Gross.
The things we learn, things we would not repeat. But I hug people now more than ever. I shake their hands more than ever. I love it when I see a salad bar. I'm like, yeah, get rid of the sneeze guard. I don't even need that thing. Just put that thing out there in the open. You want to sneeze in my salad? I don't care.
It's basically like a booster shot if everybody sneezes on it.
Yeah. I'm building up my immune system if you sneeze on it.
Back to that day and a half old baby or that 1 day old baby. Expose that baby to as many germs and stuff as I know that I shouldn't.
100%.
Don't let people kiss the baby. Don't let people kiss the baby. You knew that, Trav, right? I didn't know that until
I didn't know that.
Lost a baby.
I let everybody kiss our babies.
No. Don't let people kiss your babies till they're not babies anymore.
Okay, but all my babies are healthy adults, and they were kissed and cuddled the whole time.
I'm just telling. It's called the kiss of death, man, because people, the baby's immune system. While we're joking about getting them around dirt and things like that, yeah, don't let strangers kiss the baby.
Had no idea about that.
Yep.
Now you're going to freak my daughter out, and now I'm going to go down and see my grandbaby, and she's going to be like, "Don't kiss her, Dad."
Yes. Only mom only mom and dad, I think, are the ones. The doctors will tell you, but
how about don't hold the baby? Because I know people are like, "Oh, I know you can't hold it."
That I think is where is the healthy part of it. Let as many people hold the baby as possible. Get them around some of those. Because, man, I've had people that were hypochondriacs about their baby. You know, like, hey, I'm going to keep my baby. And sometimes those kids were chronically dealing with different health issues.
Knock on wood, none of my kids, and they're adults now, so I don't have to knock on wood, but none of my kids ever had health problems. Like, we didn't have the ears, we had to have the tubes. But I was fortunate enough that, you know, when Abigail was born, I'll never forget this. We're holding the little Abigail, and she looks at me. She goes, "Oh, I'm not going back to work." I'm like, "What?" "Yeah, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom." And at first, you're like, "Oh my God, what are we doing here? You never told me this." Looking back, it was the greatest decision we ever made. But you're like, okay. So I sold a couple cars, sold plasma, sold a bunch of things just to be able to survive, which was good. 515-517-2303 is the number to call. We got a lot to get to today. We have the Iowa State game from last night, the Iowa game from last night. Drake's going to be in action tonight. Corey from Bats and Bugs is going to join us right around 7:20. It's getting warmer outside. Those bugs are going to start coming out of the woodwork, so to say. And Corey's going to let us know how you can take care of that before you even start to see him. So lots of stuff to get to. Maybe even bring up the John Higgins interview from yesterday. A lot of good feedback from yesterday. I know John, so it was just like a regular conversation.
Was news to you, but Trav, to some of us, that's why, I think going back and looking at it, some of that stuff I think is I don't think some of that stuff was shocking for people to hear. Some of that stuff, I think it takes a minute for you to think about it and realize what we heard yesterday was kind of like when we have Jamie Pollard on, and Jamie's really open and honest about the stuff happening behind the scenes. John Higgins said stuff during that interview that a lot of people were like, wait, you're not supposed to say that. You're not supposed to say that you ref the game differently if it's the best player or the worst player. You're not supposed to tell us that you keep track of how many fouls the best player has. Every one of us has been watching a game, and at the end of the game, a foul gets called or a play happens, and we go, "Oh, the ref show. I came here to watch Caitlyn Clark. I didn't come here to watch the refs. I came here to watch LeBron." Doesn't this idiot know he's not the star of the show? What John Higgins said yesterday was, yeah, we're not idiots, and we do know that you didn't come to see us, and we're conscious of it, and we do call the game a little bit differently based on who you are. And then when he says that, people go, Wait, he just said that thing I wanted him to say, but I didn't think he was supposed to say.
And now I don't know if I like that he said it.
Right, exactly right. It's really fun. Thanks for setting that up for us.
It's the Rush Radio Show at therushradio.com.
Doug Burgess, Service Manager here at Willis Infinity. As we move into 2025, I want to say one final thank you for what 2024 has brought to us. Getting the opportunity to meet many of you customers, and for you, voting us the #1 Google-ranked dealership in the Midwest. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And to know why, and to have that Willis experience yourself, stop on in or go online to make your appointment at willisinfinity.com.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Is something in your attic keeping you up at night? Don't let unwanted guests take over your home. With over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's trusted expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly wildlife solutions at a fair price. We safely remove bats, squirrels, raccoons, birds, and more so you can sleep soundly again. For a free estimate, call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage & Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage & Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage & Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
When it comes to mortgages, no one is more trusted than Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. With more than 25 years of experience, Gary has been Iowa's top mortgage banker for the past 5 years. With creativity and professionalism, Gary is dedicated to finding unique programs to help you afford the home you deserve. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank/Gary Presnall. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, I'm John Linares, Sales Manager at Willis Lexus, and this month we're going to help you find your perfect match. Stop out and see us. We've got great inventory of NX and NX Hybrid, TX, and ES. We have more inventory arriving daily, and this month Lexus has also brought back the very popular 42-month lease. Stop out and see us or visit us online at willislexus.com.
Not too many places hit all the right notes. But when it comes to great atmosphere and delicious scratch-made food, Truman's is the name to know. Game days are for Chiefs fans, but every day is for the food fans. Truman's, get to know us by name.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Listen to the Rush Radio Show all day long at therushradio.com. Very easy to find. Very easy to listen. Just click that Listen Live link. The show will run in a continuous loop 24/7. If you want to listen to the podcast replay, it's also right there at therushradio.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson. Yesterday on the show, Ross Peterson said, "This is not a trap game. This is not a trap game." Iowa State at Oklahoma State.
Warned us. If only somebody would have warned us that Iowa State could go in and stub their toe at Gallagher-Iba Arena.
Yeah, and an arena that only had about 5,600 in it last night.
Some of those
Wasn't
low shots that shot across that place looked like Carver on a bad night.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Now, Keyshawn Gilbert was still out for the Cyclones last night. He's dealing with like an abdominal injury, and it's better to be safe and sorry. There's a long play here for Iowa State, right? I mean, Iowa State's going to be most likely a number 3 seed, so you're like, okay, do you really need to play him, or what does that injury look like? I get not playing him, but Iowa State never led in this game, Ross. They were down double digits. I think they trailed by as many as 16 points. That's why I kind of looked at it as a trap game. Like, you're coming off a game where you played fairly well on the road against a Houston team that's a top 4 team in the country. A lot of people thinking, well, this is gonna be one you're gonna get out of there with a win, and it was just like setting up for the trap, and that's what happened.
Trav, I thought there was a moment there. A couple times they made runs. And,
got within
and it looked
4
like,
late.
Okay, here we go. They're the better team for this stretch of basketball. When they with like 2 minutes to play, they cut it down to like a 6-point game. And I'm thinking, they might. At that point, I remember I was flipping back and forth. I fell asleep real soon after this. So the Hawkeye game, I didn't get to see. I was unfortunately out for most of that. But man, I kept thinking they're going to pull this off. They're going to pull it very early on in that game, though. Several of my Cyclone friends, our buddy Ryan Grove, who's one of the most passionate Cyclone fans I know and listens to our show every day, he fired off a text in our group that said, "We're losing this game tonight. We don't have it." And I think it was Mark Charter that beat me to it and said, "Hey, lots of time here. We're winning this game yet." And I said, "Yep, I agree with that. This bad start, TJ's going to light him up at halftime, and we'll see what happens." And it did look like that, man. They came out in the second half, and it was like, oh, yeah. For those first couple of minutes, I felt like of that second half, it was like, oh, yeah, this is it. This is the better team on the court. And Cyclones are going to pull away with this, and then there just wasn't enough to ever close that gap. Again, just like late in the game, when you cut it down to a 2-point possession again, immediately, that's the Oklahoma State's not a great team. Man, they'd go down and hit that big shot. They'd instantly regain that momentum, instantly stretch that lead back up to 8, 9, 10. And just never enough legs to close it down.
And it's little things for the Cyclones that are uncharacteristic. Turned the ball over 18 times last night. That team that's very uncharacteristic. Not good at the free throw line. 12 of 20. That's 60% from the free throw line. You need to be in the 80s and 90s if you can be. And couldn't shoot the 3-ball worth of crap last night. 8 of 27 from behind the 3-point line at 29%. So that trap game is over. You come back home this weekend to play Arizona. That's the interesting game, right? And Arizona's played well on the road. Yes.
Yeah, you got a couple of them now. Is it Arizona and BYU? I've got it right here. Hold on. I've got
BYU's a decent team. They just kicked the crap out of Kansas. Now, that was at home.
Arizona and BYU at home. Trav, all right, let's talk about that seed for a minute, because I think you're right. This is the 1 seed thing, even winning the Big 12 tournament now. I mean, maybe with a run like that and looking really impressive, but even you're probably looking at that 2-3 line now and sitting closer to 3.
Yeah, I think they're off
losses.
I think they're off the 2 line. I think the 2 line is now taken off the table.
Wow. Even winning the Big 12 tournament, you think the 2 line's off?
I think if Houston wins out and even were to lose in the Big 12 tournament, I think the Big 12 that would be the one that would get the 2.
And you've still got Texas Tech up there with 21 wins.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's settling in on that conversation. But again, let's go back to that thing I said last week. If you're a Cyclone fan, it's easy to get kind of locked up there. What's worrisome last night is that the effort was not there. And that's something that you've been able to rely on this whole time. It's like, man, defensively, we're always going to be tough. We might not be able to hit shots, but our effort's always going to be there from a TJ team. And last night, there's been a couple of times this year that the legs just weren't there. They don't. A couple of times that they don't look like one of the best teams in the country. Man, what a high bar we have for this team.
It's very high.
What a high bar we have for this team that you lose on the road in conference. Again, last night, that's a bad loss. There's no other way to put it. You lost on the road in conference, but it is that Oklahoma State's not going to be playing in the March tournament. They're kind of like an Iowa-esque team that you lost to last night. That's not a good loss if you're trying to qualify yourself as one of those, top 2-3 seeds.
Yeah, and that's it. But the expectation still hasn't changed.
Oh.
In meaning that this is a Sweet 16 team, or it's a bust, right? I mean, that's
absolutely. And I think every Cyclone fan would agree with that.
Hell, I think every Cyclone player and coach would agree with that.
Yeah, they should. That's what. Again, this is a good place to be. Your expectation is that you're playing in that second weekend of March.
Yeah. You notice we haven't heard from Derek in a while. He's been kind of quiet. I don't know if he's not getting his breaks at 7 o'clock or he stopped smoking the Marlboros. I don't know.
Here's what Derek's going to say. Since Trump's been back in office, this economy's booming so much the forklift ain't driving itself. You think all this material's just moving around this warehouse all by itself? There you go. And then he'd throw in some snide comment about how he hopes Fran's contract extension talks are going well. Last night, I'm sure if we heard from him, there would also be some comment about how, boy, what a great performance by that Hawkeye team last night.
Crickets.
Really show that they don't quit on their coach, like you guys have been saying lately. You guys have been talking about how this team doesn't quit. Look at them going last night. Had to go on that long road trip. Can't blame them for their legs being tired.
Brandon chimes in and says, hell no, Travis. This team is Elite Eight or bust. And I'm going to push the brakes on that. Just because I think once you get to that Sweet 16, the tournament is a completely different dynamic. It comes to matchups, all sorts of things. If you drop from a 3 seed to a 4 seed, that changes the dynamic a little bit. I just think this team is a second weekend team. And if it doesn't get to the second weekend, then it's a bust. I understand what you're saying about the Elite Eight, but I think it's kind of a sliding scale as the season goes along and reality starts to rear its head. And you see this team is vulnerable in a lot of cases.
Couldn't agree more, dude. That in college basketball, I think you are either at the Sweet 16 is about as lofty as your floor can be. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying,
If you're the number one ranked team in the country going into the season, your hope for that team is that you're going to win the national title. Your hope for that team is that, man, we're going to go into the Final Four here, boys. It's going to be a fun year. But, man, if you make it to the Sweet 16 and you are upset by a Cinderella team or you're upset by a 2 seed, or I guess that would be you'd be upset by a 4 seed, which would be like an Iowa State type of team. You had a good year. You had a great year.
I mean, let's say Auburn doesn't make the Final Four or win the national title.
Well, I mean, they probably won't.
I mean, this team's struggling to make the NCAA tournament this year on the bubble, but how many years did Gonzaga go into the NCAA tournament expecting to, this is going to be the year for Gonzaga?
How many times have we had a Final Four that was 4 number 1 seeds? Has that ever happened?
Not very often.
I don't think that's ever I don't remember that happening in my lifetime. Maybe it has, but if it has, what an extreme rarity. So just think of that. To say I don't think that's fair to say Elite Eight or bust. And I'm going to be real harsh here for a second, especially right now with this team. You can't watch this team lose to Houston on the road. A really good game, really close game. You're not at full strength. I get it. You can't watch this team lose at Oklahoma State and say, man, if we don't get to the Elite Eight, this year sucked.
You ready for this, Ross?
Okay.
According to Google AI, which now does most of your Google searches, in the NCAA men's basketball tournament, all 4 number 1 seeds have made the Final Four. Take a guess. Just take a guess.
4. Well, now, wait a minute. How far does this go back to? Can you tell me? Because if this goes back to when it was just a 16-team tournament.
Let's just use the field of 68. Okay, let's use the field of 68.
I don't think it's ever happened.
It's happened once. Once. The 2008 Final Four.
Really?
Kansas, Memphis, North Carolina, and UCLA. Now, it's more common for at least one number one seed to make a Final Four. And 3 number one seeds have made the Final Four 5 times.
Okay.
That's not even that. I mean, that's 3.
It's not. No, it's not. You know, another fun stat would be how often does a 1 seed make the Final Four? Because that's another example of, like, you can be one of the top teams in the country, if not the top team in the country, and man, those March matchups are what matter. It's why the tournament's so much fun. So to set the expectation for your coach or your team or your happiness, I mean, because all these things are kind of what we're talking about.
According
so lofty, man, you're setting yourself up for disappointment there because all the chips have to fall in your favor in order for you to get all the way there.
According to NCAA data, again, this is Google telling me this stuff on the fly, a number one seed typically makes the Final Four around 62% of the time.
Look at that. 60% of the time, one of the top teams in the country makes it to the Final Four.
And that's why I say the Sweet 16 is like the bar.
I'm with you. And I think it's such a weird thing to say. That's the highest floor you can have. It's not fair to say Elite 8, Final Four, National Championship, or bust.
Yeah, because you don't know when a VCU is going to get hot and get to the Final Four, or Wichita State. Remember when Wichita State got to the Final Four?
You don't know when you're going to lose a Marcus Fizer. You don't know when you're going to lose your best player could get hurt, and then that doesn't make your season a disappointment if it's not. Now, Iowa State is to that point that we were talking about also earlier in the year. Man, they're early in the week. They're real close to that perennial thing where every year you're walking in going, Sweet 16, right? Right, guys? Sweet 16? What we think this team can do? That's a fun place to be.
I don't know if I agree with this. Chris says on the chat that Sweet 16 every year isn't growth. And I'm like, oh, I know what you mean.
No,
but
Sweet 16 every year is the pinnacle, quite frankly, Chris. National championships in that, right? But the best programs are perennial Sweet 16 teams. The best, the blue chips. Now, you got to win some national titles to get into that blue chip conversation that we've been talking about. That's why, but Iowa State's not there. They're not in that national title every year conversation. But, man, I remember when Gonzaga started to creep into this conversation. When Gonzaga was every year, you were like, damn, they're there again. They're there again. And then it became the point of like, well, now I expect Gonzaga to be there. Iowa State's like, they're in those first couple of years of that thing right now. It's like every year they're in the top running.
I think the best example of this would be Purdue. How many times has Purdue been a number one seed, a number two seed, but never got to the pinnacle?
Yes.
And sometimes knocked out in the first round, sometimes knocked out in the second round, sometimes gets to the Final Four. But you can look at Matt Painter. There's a lot of people who go, all right, have you reached your plateau? He's just consistent every single year.
That guy's got a shelf full of Big Ten titles. But doesn't have, and then gets the knock of, man, guy can't win in the big, when the spotlight gets bright, can't win.
Is there growth there? Well,
no.
Yeah.
There's not growth there. It's a plateau up here.
Yeah. Iowa plateaus down here. Purdue plateaus up here. And Purdue does it when you think they don't even have players to do it with, right? You're like, well, Purdue's going to be down this year. Boy, they're good. But I think Matt Painter is a good example of that. So, yeah, it's
Matt Painter. Good, good call on that's a good example of it. So,
And Casey says this, most teams think they can make the Final Four, but making the second week is the biggest goal for most teams. Everything else is gravy. It's a good way to put it. Good way to put it.
It was Niang who broke his foot. I said Pfizer, but it was Niang. That's right.
Just getting guys confused.
Yeah, it's
getting the years confused up.
You can lose your best dude.
Now Iowa was in action last night.
Were they?
Yeah. It was an okay first half. Got within, I think, 2 in the first half. They were down 7 at the break, and then it fell apart in the second half. They ended up getting beat by 20. Held to a season-low 61 last night. So now it gets interesting because they're still not a lock for the Big Ten tournament. We're not talking NCAA tournament. We're talking they're not even a lock for the Big Ten tournament. They got to go to Northwestern, which has 6 wins in the Big Ten. Iowa has 6 wins. But, USC has 6 wins. Iowa's lost to USC. I believe Minnesota has 6 wins. Iowa has lost to Minnesota. These next 3 games are huge. Northwestern, Michigan State, and then Nebraska. I think of the 3 left, it's a possibility Iowa could win 2 of the 3, but it's a strong possibility they could lose all 3. And if they lose all 3, this team ain't going to the Big Ten tournament, which would be an embarrassment.
They're 3-9 in their last 12 games. Held to a season-low 61. Again, and Travis, we said this yesterday. That's not like a must-win. But what did yesterday when we were signing off, I said, hey, what do you need to see tonight from the Hawkeyes? We both kind of came to the same conclusion. Don't need to see him win. I need to see him fight. I need to see a team that's still out there competing, and I need to see a team that and flipping in the first half. Again, a lot like Iowa State fans last night. Watching the beginning of that game last night, I fell asleep watching it. I'm not exaggerating. Fell asleep watching it. It didn't seem like there's energy. It doesn't seem like there's fire. You're not hitting shots. You're not fighting on defense. Never fought on defense. I mean, that's just not. They're not a defensive.
I would agree with you on that. When you think of solid, good defense, you're not thinking about the Iowa basketball team by any means.
So I like, man, it feels like such a broken record. But the apathy is so strong. It's the one emotion that continues to surface and surface and surface and constantly be brought up. There's no want, fire, desire. I'm not saying that from the guys on the court. They want to win. I know that. And I know Fran wants to win. But there's no energy. I don't remember the last time my group of buddies were like, hey, we're getting together for a Hawkeye game, Hawkeye basketball game. We get together for wrestling. My family gets together for women's basketball still. I don't remember the last time. Like, okay, here's a great example. Told you we went to Texas Roadhouse last night. It was pretty early in the evening. Went there with my dad. We walk in at like 5:30, something like that, right? It's pretty early. And I got to use the restroom. So I go walking. We're waiting in the lobby, and I go walking past the bar. And as I go past, Big Ten Network is on, and it's Iowa, Illinois. On it's like
No, that would have been at FS1. They were at FS1 last
Hold on. Listen to me. It's Big Ten Network. It's Iowa, Illinois. It's 69-66 with like 2 minutes to play. I'm like,
and you're
whoa.
like, I got to watch this.
Whoa.
I forgot the game was at 8.
Yeah, I thought I knew they were playing tonight. I didn't realize it was this time. And then I saw Luka Garza get a rebound. I was like, oh, good move getting him back. We needed him. Wait. Oh, the Hawks are ranked 6th. Something's off. It was obviously a replay from a game from several years ago. But, Trav, there was a time in my life when that never would have – I would have instantly known, no, the game is at 8 o'clock tonight. something's off here. I didn't even know when I literally for a minute sat there and went, holy cow, I missed this entire game. Didn't even know they were playing. And my dad didn't even say anything. Holy cow. So I went, yeah, I know it's an early supper. I get it. Again, mentioned the pop part, right? He invited us. So
yeah, but you're guaranteed a seat because if you go at 7:30, you're like you got an hour wait.
Right in.
Who wants? I mean, I'm to the point now. If I walk in and it's like longer than a 15-minute wait, I'm like, I'm not gonna wait. And I did it to myself because you should know better than go out to eat at like 7:30 without getting a reservation.
Dude, call exactly. Even call on your way. I do that a lot. We leave the house and I'm on my way there and I'll call the place and say, hey, I got me and 2 kids coming your way. Are we going to be able to walk in? And almost always they're like, yep, got you on the list, that sort of thing. So anyway, I didn't say anything to my dad. I didn't come back and go, hey, I just got fooled by the TV. We went and we sat down and my dad had the exact same moment. He looked up and he was like, holy cow, Hawks are on. And I kind of gave him a minute also, and they kind of came to the same conclusion. But, man, I felt like that was another indication of here's 3 guys, quite frankly, with Eli that if it were a woman's game, we would have known. We would have been like, nah. If it had been a football game, we would have gone, no, they kick off at 11. We don't miss a kickoff. Men's basketball, it's on, and it's almost like volleyball. You watch it and go, oh, yeah, I forgot, because it's not on my radar. Because there should be a rule on the Big Ten Network that you can't play replays of the team they're playing. Yeah.
The night of the game they're playing, because it'll throw you off, right? I mean, it's happened to me. You're not alone. Now, it's usually at home. I'm like, oh, I didn't know the game started already. Then you're like 5 minutes in before you realize this is a repeat, and then it just makes you feel stupid. You're like,
you don't.
Do I
feel so dumb?
I don't want to tell anybody that I just did this. I invested all this time.
Yep. Had the same thing happen last summer. Audrey was out with me showing houses, and we were up in Bondurant, and all of a sudden Audrey's like, Dad, I got to go to the bathroom. And I said, all right, time to bird bath it. No, I'm kidding. I called.
Nothing wrong with bird bathing.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with it.
So I called Courtney's stepdad. I said, hey, I'm right around the corner from you. Can I stop in and let Audrey use the restroom? He's like, yeah, no problem. In fact, I'm just getting ready to watch the Fever game. I'm like, oh, cool. So we went in. Fever game is on TV. We're watching the game, and it's Caitlyn Clark's bucket. And it's Caitlyn Clark bucket. Caitlyn Clark bucket. I'm like, damn, I'm like kind of the corner of my eye, like watching this thing. She's on fire.
How long did it take you to notice that they just kept dissolving between Caitlyn Clark buckets?
It took me a minute. I'll tell you
they're
that.
Not going down the. How come they're not going down the court? She just keeps getting the basketball
longer than it should have. And I think Kevin was actually the first one. Finally, he was like, I don't think we're watching a game.
You know, these are highlights. It's not the game.
Highlight. Yeah.
Wow, she stole the ball fast. She's got 20 steals in the first 10 seconds of the game.
Has she missed? What is going on? Yeah, I think you're right. They should have to have like one of those great big watermarks that says replay. Here's an idea. You know how our ears, as we get older, we can't hear certain frequencies. Our eyes, as we get older, can only see certain colors and wave frequencies. They should put.
Hold on. Is that a true thing?
No, but I'm making it up. They should put a watermark on there that only old people can see.
You are watching a replay. You're not senile.
You are watching a replay. Do not freak out.
See, I'm scared for that day when I'm like, man, did you all watch that game? What game, Dad? Well, I just watched the Iowa Hawkeyes beat Michigan. You should have seen this kid kick a field goal, and they stormed the field. Dad, that was 1986. Oh,
his name was Hootland or something. You see that?
And it's December, Dad. The season's not even going. It's going to happen someday. I know it's going to happen.
Trav, what I thought you were going to say, this is what's going to happen someday. You're going to be like, holy cow, did you see that Iowa-Michigan game last night? And your son is going to say, no, Dad, what you saw was the AI recreation. That was a simulation of the game that you saw. You're like, no,
No.
Dude, I told you that. I walked in to get my hair cut. This was like a year ago or so. And these dudes were watching an NBA game. And I sat down for, again, man, I don't have the best vision, but I sat down for a while watching this game before I realized I was watching two dudes play a video game. I'm not kidding.
Did you admit it just now?
No, I just did now to you. and the thousands of people we have. But that's how close we are to that.
Pretty soon we're not going to need like real athletes. We're just going to simulate you. And then you can still get excited about your team. So, yeah, I was at Northwestern this weekend. Iowa State at home against Arizona. Again, Iowa just fighting for its Big Ten tournament life. Iowa State fighting for a 3 seed, I think, at this point. So
that's fair.
I think that's where we're at. We'll talk maybe a little more TJ Otzelberger coming up in the second hour as he's being mentioned for that Indiana job. And every time we think, but we didn't think Fred Hoiberg was going to go to the Bulls either. I mean, I'm with you.
That made more sense.
It did.
That's a huge step up. That's a lifetime type of job. This is not. And don't give me this stuff of like, well, in the new age of NIL bullshit. Indiana's getting their ass run off the court. So it's not about the NIL. TJ's kicking ass up in Iowa State.
A little bit about the NIL.
What I'm saying is, it is a little bit about the NIL. NIL is not what's defining success. Otherwise,
that's fair.
Indiana would be doing better. They wouldn't be in the position they're in, and Iowa State wouldn't be in the position they're in if all of these rumors were true. If all of these scare tactics of NIL were true, TJ wouldn't be winning, and Indiana would.
We got an hour in the books. We got an hour to go. 515-517-2303. Got a phone call coming in. We'll take that when we come back on the Rush Radio Show at therushradio.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's Bobby here at Land Rover Des Moines. Just wanted to say it's February, so I invite you to come in and fall in love with a Land Rover. We've got over 43 of them in stock and 2.9% financing on select vehicles. You'll never find a better time to fall in love with something just like this. So call, click, or visit us at LandRoverDesMoines.com or stop down in the showroom and see one in person. You'll be glad you did.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's $25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's $25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's $25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Is something in your attic keeping you up at night? Don't let unwanted guests take over your home. With over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's trusted expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly wildlife solutions at a fair price. We safely remove bats, squirrels, raccoons, birds, and more so you can sleep soundly again. For a free estimate, call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage & Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage & Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage & Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
Hi, I'm John Linares, sales manager at Willis Lexus, and this month we're going to help you find your perfect match. Stop out and see us. We've got great inventory of NX and NX Hybrid, TX, and ES. We have more inventory arriving daily, and this month Lexus has also brought back the very popular 42-month lease. Stop out and see us or visit us online at willislexus.com.
Largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbox to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
Do you have a pest problem? With over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's local expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly pest solutions at a fair price for your home or business. Call us today at 515-218-3400.
It is the Rush Radio Show at therushradio.com, powered by Willis Automotive. The best place to buy your new or used car is Willis Automotive. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, give this video a like, leave a comment, set up your notifications. Follow us on the social media channels of X, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson. We're here till 8 o'clock this morning. It's going to be a beautiful day, getting right around 60 degrees. Ross looking through his old newspapers.
That was one I didn't even know I had.
Replaying life is what you're doing.
Replaying life.
Replaying life. God, you look at the headline in today's newspaper. That was from 1994.
That's the old version of what we were talking about having the wrong game on. Yeah. Did you guys see President Kennedy got shot?
515-517-2303. Chad waited on hold through the break. Chad, welcome to the Rush Radio Show at therushradio.com, powered by Willis Automotive. What's going on?
How you boys doing today?
Good.
Doing well. Chad, how are you?
Good. Oh, not too bad. Hey, I just want to talk a little bit about your guest that you had on yesterday, and it just kind of goes to show what I've always thought about college basketball in general, which is it's just so subjective on how they make calls. I mean, he even talked about, look, the second stringers and third stringers come in off the bench. We're not giving them the calls like we do the first stringers. A foul's a foul. And I don't understand how we get through that. And, you know, that makes it difficult for other teams as well when, hey, team A is known as defensive team, right? And they go in and they're fouling nonstop. If they don't get the calls, the other team, maybe they're not a big defensive team, they're making the same plays, but they're getting calls all the time. When do we get that to change?
Trav, do you want to? I mean, I think this is a really good call.
It is a very good call. And Chad, I think Ross brought up a good point earlier. And I think John even said this on the interview yesterday. He's like, listen, if it's a foul, they're going to call the foul. However, fouls in basketball are kind of like holding in football. You could probably call a foul every time down the court if you wanted to. Now, where I agree with you is I just want it to be called both ways on both ends of the court, right? What you're calling, and he didn't really talk about an uneven game because we didn't get into that. But what you want to see is if you're going to call it one way for one team, call it for another. We didn't ask him about that. But when it comes to, hey, if you got a star player, out there, you want the star. You're gonna give a little leeway if he's in foul trouble because Ross, you said it. You pay money to see the stars play.
So, Chad, go ahead and respond because I think this is a really good conversation. I thought this was the conversation that was going to come from that comment, that a lot of us would hear that and go, wait a minute, that doesn't sound – I completely agree with you, Chad. There's a part of me that The moment he said it, I thought, that doesn't sound
why
right.
Is it? No, and it doesn't because, excuse me, it seems like it is this way in basketball, and that's the only sport that I can think of. I mean, we don't do that in football. We don't see referees changing the way they call the game based on,
well, Chad,
listen,
I'll push back a little bit there, Chad. Absolutely, we do. This is why people bitch about Patrick Mahomes getting the benefit of all those calls and why people think there's a whole conspiracy theory for the Chiefs because the superstar gets treated differently in football. Now, baseball might not be the case because the strike zone is so objective, right? There's no discretion in the strike zone anymore. The video replay doesn't allow for safe and out to be much of a judgment call as it used to be. So maybe in baseball the superstar doesn't get treated, but I would say in football they do.
Yeah, maybe a little. I'll give you that. Okay, the Patrick Mahomes thing, sure.
And I'm not. And listen,
But
Chad, I'm not defending.
I mean, you're not looking at your best players on each team.
Yeah, I'm not trying to defend it or say that it's right. I'm just saying I do think it happens, and I think that the argument against it, what John was saying yesterday, like most of us sports fans have had a moment where we were mad at an official because we felt like they were putting themselves into the game. And I felt like that's kind of what John was addressing with just different words, was saying, man, in those big moments, we want to know that we're getting LeBron out of the game that everybody paid to come see.
Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, a foul's a foul. And yeah, I know you don't, no one wants to see their stud go out, but come on, man. I mean, let's just call it the same for everyone, not for each team. I'm not saying each team, every person on the floor, every player. Let's call it the same.
It's one of those things that.
And how many times have you seen that whistle blow before the play even happens?
Yeah, and I think that's just a guy making that's the human error part of it there. I think this is one of those things that we love knowing but hate hearing. Or love hearing but hate knowing.
Right. Well, that's all I had. I didn't really hear anybody push back and ask about that yesterday, which when he said that, I thought, he just admitted they call it different.
Yeah. I did. It went through my brain, Chad, but I thought, man, that's kind of cool that he just pulled the curtain back a little bit. And don't most of us want that? Don't most of us want the officials to not feel like they are the star of the show?
But in not calling it, aren't they still kind of the star of the show?
And now we're getting into some philosophical stuff here. By not making a call, you're making a call.
100% you are.
Right.
No, I understand the pushback.
I do too. Very good stuff, Chad. And you're not alone, man. Trust me. That was my friend text group yesterday was having this exact same conversation of like, man, I'm glad he said it, but I'm also surprised and don't like hearing it.
But I'd rather have honesty than somebody lie to you, right? I mean, and I don't know if I would push back on it. LeBron James is treated differently in the NBA than other players in the NBA. Michael Jordan was treated differently. I want Keyshawn Gilbert to be treated differently.
This guy, I had a PTSD memory for a moment there, dude.
What was that?
I remember in a negotiation with our old boss,
Joel,
and I said, I'm doing the work of 3 people for the salary of 1.
And you were at the time.
And he said to me, that might be true, but I don't like hearing it. What? What? I can't say the things that are true?
What didn't he like hearing about it?
I don't know. But that's what I heard from Chad there for a moment. It's like, man. I think that's all of our reactions when we hear John Higgins say that. That might be true, but I don't like hearing it. Guy told you the truth. Guy said the thing that I think in those moments, the guy said the thing that you would want to hear. But it sucks to hear it. It sucks to hear it. So your response is, that might be true, but I don't like hearing it. And then your brain goes, so I'm going to ignore it.
Well, how many times have we heard fans say, oh, that's a ticky-tack foul? Well, okay, if you don't call the ticky-tack foul, is it still a foul? Brock Harding last night was coming up the court, I think it was the first half, and was he fouled? I don't know, but he sure made it look like he was fouled. They didn't call it, but he had body language where he threw his upper torso back, and you're like, okay, is that just acting, or are you getting forearmed to the point where your body almost goes out of contortion?
Threw your back out, dude.
Yeah, like, dude, you need to go to the chiropractor after that. That was almost physically impossible. But they didn't call the foul.
I think when Chad, to his point about that, Patrick Mahomes is a great example of how the superstars get treated differently. Tom Brady was the benefactor of that for a decade. We had an entire thing about Michael Jordan. LeBron James is why the flopping thing that you're talking about, that exaggerated, LeBron does that, the whistles blow. I mean, hell, you get 40 whistles all of a sudden. You're like, I didn't know that. I mean, officials were out here. They're all watching LeBron. And then we as fans go, wait a minute. Why are y'all watching LeBron? Because all of you are watching LeBron.
515-517-2303. Let's go to DJ. DJ, welcome to the Rush Radio Show at therushradio.com, powered by Willis Automotive. What's going on, DJ?
It's not DJ, it's AJ.
Hey,
How
AJ.
you doing, fellas?
Good.
What's up, AJ from Clear Lake?
Good. Yes, sir. Heading to Ulysses, Nebraska to disinfect a nursery pig unit for a guy. So I'm got up early. I'm rolling down I-80. So, and I just was a couple comments on Iowa State last night. They got to quit turning the ball over so much if they want to get where they want to get to. It's been a problem, big problem, and they turn the other team over. But if you don't turn the ball over as much, then you're scoring more points and you're going to win. So I don't know what you guys think, but it's just that's one thing. Look at the stats on them, and Cyclones got to get their turnovers fixed. If they can do that, then they're going to be where they want to be, I think. And then the Hawkeyes, I was thinking of this going down the road. I coached high school baseball for 25 years. I played college baseball at Mount Mercy. High school, and I was 51, and I decided, I've been on this diamond 46 of my 51 summers. And at some point, you just kind of go, yeah, I'm good. I'm okay. And when you live in Clear Lake and you got a boat that's sitting there not getting used, like, and the wife's on you, it's like, yeah, we better go out on the boat. And I better get off of the John Deere and the drag. And I did. And it was time. So, everything in your life, you guys know, it's just time on some stuff, right? So we'll see what happens with that, I guess.
So what I hear you saying is that you think it's time for Fran to step aside.
Well, if you look at his son going to Butler, his other son's at Butler, his maybe daughter-in-law plays for the Indiana Fever, and maybe it's just time to go to Indianapolis and have a good time.
Take your
But
buyout.
the money's big.
Yeah, you live comfortably.
Yeah, the money's big, or even settle. Have a settlement a little bit. So you're the winningest coach in Iowa history, but he's probably going to take the buyout. He's going to want the buyout, but I don't know, guys. It's mediocre, and it's probably below mediocre, like you were talking earlier. And it's just, I want to be excited about Iowa basketball again, and it's just frustrating. So I just love your show on your new format, and I'll be calling in periodically when I'm roading like today, and wish me luck in Ulysses.
AJ, I think I know Nebraska geography pretty well. I have no idea where Ulysses, Nebraska is.
Okay, according to my map, so I'm going to hit 680, go north of Omaha, and kind of jot down. It looks to me like it's northwest of Lincoln.
Yeah.
Like it's tiny. So it's like, it's BFE, man.
Well,
it's out.
If you got to go south, don't take 68. That's 880. Don't do that. Just stay on 80.
Okay.
And go through Neola, Underwood, Council Bluffs. That'll save you some time.
Oh, yeah.
If you
I've done that.
Yeah.
I've done that several times. So yep.
Yeah, because if you take the 880 route, you're going out of your way.
Okay, well, I'll see what my MapQuest tells me. We'll see how it goes with the Google Map. But I agree with you too, because you can cook.
Yes.
You can cook through Omaha pretty easy.
Yep.
So yep.
All right,
okay.
AJ.
Well, you guys have a great Wednesday. Good to talk to you, man.
Thanks,
I'll keep
AJ.
listening, okay?
Thanks,
See
buddy.
you later. Bye.
Ulysses has a butchery.
Yeah.
It's got a post office.
Yeah.
Got a
That's
Catholic
about
church.
It. Got it. Well, that's pretty commonplace over in this neck of the woods.
That's a map dot right there. Ulysses, Nebraska.
I don't even know where they go to school or what school district they're part of.
Probably at the butchery.
But you know where you probably get really good meat? Is at the butchery.
Right. Yeah, everybody around there knows about the Ulysses butchery.
Yeah.
Right.
Where are you going to get?
Kind of like the Milo locker.
I started following the Milo locker on Facebook, and you and I may have to make a trip to Milo.
I'm down. Showed my this is kind of a funny story. Showed my brother a house down in Milo one time.
How far is Milo from Des Moines?
I want to say 45 minutes, something like that.
Okay, not bad.
Right? Not bad at all. He was like, it's not the right fit for me. His father-in-law ended up buying the house.
And probably getting his meat at the Milo locker.
I want this property.
Yeah. Got myself a couple acres. Myself a nice house. And I'm close to a meat market. I'm going to get some really good beef. Small towns are awesome.
I love your idea, dude. I want to start doing this. I think that we start hitting small towns on the weekends and videotaping our trip and having some fun. That'd be a great time.
Milo might be a good start, and just start at the Milo meat locker. Say, hey, maybe they'll let us cut up a cow or a pig.
Would you want to do that?
Well, you got to remember how I grew up. I grew up. My
want to
dad,
learn how, I guess, but I don't know if I want to do it.
I mean, I would go to the stockyards with my dad. Wow. Then I'd go to the meat packing plant and I'd watch him shoot the cow right there in the forehead. Then I'd watch him skin it. Then I'd watch him cut it in half, and then I'd watch him put it on a hook.
This was before Temple Grandin came in and brought some humanity into that industry.
I'm just saying.
Right? Am I kidding?
That's how I grew up.
Am I kidding, though? Temple Grandin, this severely autistic lady showed up and said, hey, you guys are doing this all wrong, and revolutionized the livestock industry.
Oh, now we're getting like every little meat market in Iowa.
Listen, here's what you guys should do. Email this list, because the chat we can't go back and look at.
Yeah.
But if you have an idea.
You can.
Huh?
Yeah, you can.
You can?
Yeah, on YouTube. You can go, if you hit the video on YouTube, you can follow the chat.
Well, I was thinking we should just have people email us. That way we've got a permanent list.
And the email is very simple, Travis@therushradio.com or Ross@therushradio.com. And then we'll just start going to meat lockers. Guthrie
we're not
Center.
going just to meat lockers. Hold on.
Well, no, I know the town, but we're going to the meat locker.
Send us your favorite grain bins. We're going to go check out grain bins around Iowa.
Hey, that was my playground growing up. Where are we going today? Let's go down to the grain bin and play in the grain, which now you realize was so unsafe. You just don't do that. Do not play in the grain bin. Of course, it's getting warmer outside. Those bugs are going to be coming out in your house. And Corey from Bats and
Corey's
Bugs.
joining us. Corey, what's up?
Good morning.
Two bald dudes. I like this.
Yeah. I got Ross's glasses and your hairline. So yeah.
Two balds and a balding. So we're that's going to be the name of our show here while you're on. All right. So it is warming up. What are things that folks should be looking for, listening for? What are critters doing right now?
Yeah, I mean, we got everything going right now. So today I got to go get a squirrel out of the gal's house, a raccoon out of a house. We're bat-proofing 2 homes. I got moles I got to do. So a little bit of everything today. So, I mean, I guess the main thing is just anything out of the ordinary. If all of a sudden your house looks different than it did a day or two before, especially on the exterior, any holes on the outside, definitely something to look at. I always encourage people, if you're physically able to, stick your head up in the attic on an occasion and just see if you see anything but insulation, you should probably give us a call.
See, I'm the exact opposite here, Corey, is that I'll hear something walking around. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to wait for it to leave.
Yeah.
I hear footsteps and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to look up there. I don't want to see what's up there.
And that's a fine approach. If you're in Des Moines, we do free inspection. So if you want to go that route, give us a shout that way too.
All right.
Yes, I've heard things walking around in my house. I'm like,
If we put you in a phone booth with a squirrel, could you get a hold of it?
No.
Okay. All right. That answers the question.
Not.
There's the expert. Can't do it. Can't be done.
I don't know about can't. I'm getting a little older. Maybe in my younger years, maybe, but not today.
How do you? Funny. So if somebody has a squirrel, then what do you bait them out? How do you? You can't go in and wrestle the thing.
Yeah. So like the one I'm working on now, it's over by the Drake neighborhood. They chewed a hole in the fascia board, and so we're getting into the attic right above a bedroom of one of the gals, keeping her awake. So we just set live traps right on the exterior, right where the hole is. So when the squirrel comes out, it's like, oh, hey, a buffet of food. And then, the goal is that they go in there. Caught 3 of them yesterday, so I don't know if there's any more or not.
Caught 3 squirrels yesterday. Man. So what do you do with the squirrels and the possum and the coons when you catch them?
Yeah, so we follow the rules and the guidelines of the DNR. So some species, they allow us to relocate. Other species, they say, hey, they carry disease enough that they need to be put down. So it really just depends on what direction DNR wants us to go with those.
Do you ever walk into a house and go, yeah, there's a reason you have rodents?
Yeah. I mean, I internalize that. I don't say it out loud, but yeah.
That's where I couldn't do what you do. I would be like, well, first, let's clean the place up. Let's just clean the place up.
Well, so you go with a tactful approach of talking about integrated pest management, and this is a partnership, and I can't do it alone. I need your help. That approach is usually the PC way to go about it.
That's
nice.
Code for you're dirty. This is
Not
the
always,
integrated approach.
All right, Cole wants to know, what's the biggest critter you get?
I think the
raccoons?
biggest critter I caught, and let's keep it PC here. I caught an 80-pound beaver. That was probably the largest animal I ever caught.
Don't they need water?
Yeah, well, I caught it out of a farm pond. It was chopping down trees and whatnot.
An 80-pound beaver?
Yeah, that thing was huge.
Wow.
Travis, imagine the size.
Have you ever been bitten by one of the rodents that you've caught?
Back in college, we used to do like population surveys for bats and stuff. I mean, I had gloves on, so I mean, they were biting me. Like, I don't know if they went through gloves or not. My dad was a veterinarian, so I kind of went through the pre-exposure rabies shots, just knowing that, okay, in this line of work, it's only a matter of time. So they can bite me all they want. I don't, whatever.
Were you a disappointment to Dad? Was Dad like, okay, you're going to take over the family business, you're going to be a vet, and then you go, Dad, I think I'm just going to catch him. I think I'm just going to catch him.
He never internalized that or told me, but maybe internally, I don't know if he. But that wasn't my route. Originally, I went to college and I was going to do pre-med was my original goal because I liked science and I liked the helping Dad do surgery as a veterinarian out in western Nebraska, Gothenburg. You were talking about.
Great golf. There's a great golf course in Gothenburg. It's a poor man's Sandhills, but it is one of the best golf courses in Nebraska.
I'm not a golfer, but that's what everyone told me. But it opened like a year after I moved out of there. But anywho. I forget where I was. Oh, so I was going to do pre-med, but like on first day of school of anatomy class, they had a cadaver there. and they start cutting. And next thing I know, I'm out in the hallway and everyone's fanning me. I'd passed out. And so I quickly changed my major to
right before we
biology.
came on, Travis was talking about, we should go to a meat locker and cut up a cow. And I almost fainted.
Yeah.
He said it and I went,
that doesn't bother me. It's just human stuff.
Yeah. And that's normal. I think that's normal.
Thank you.
Humans, not so much. So did you go to Nebraska? Did you go to UNK? Did you go to UNMC? Where'd you go to school?
Yeah, I went to UNL.
Okay.
Yep. So, yeah, don't crucify me. I am a Husker fan, but yeah.
There's a lot of them out there.
Corey and I actually had some really good conversation this week about that Nebraska thing and how I was telling Corey my theory that all sports hate is just some form of jealousy. The only reason that Iowa and Iowa State fans hate Nebraska is because Nebraska once was great and we were not. So we hate them because we're jealous of them. And I know that a lot of people be like, no, it's because of the Nebraska fans in my life. No, it's because we're jealous that they won and we didn't. And that's what most sports hate is just some form of jealousy.
Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, there's idiot fan bases in Nebraska, just like every other.
Yeah, there you go. There's the other big element is most of us are morons.
Yeah.
So I may regret asking this. I may not, because there's always a chance you say no. But I know you just went through the Home and Garden show. We told people to go see it. Did you get any Rush listeners come up and say, "Hey, I hear"? Good.
Yep. I had a couple come through there. I actually went to a Rush listener yesterday. I think he's a friend of Bruno to take a look at his house. So, yeah, definitely been seeing some Rush listeners and getting some comments about the show. So that's great, guys.
All right. Bats and Bugs, family-owned and operated business, over 25 years in business. Give them a call at 515-218-3400. That's 515-218-3400. Corey, it's always good to catch up with you.
Thanks, buddy.
When you get a big critter, let us know, and you can come on and tell us about it, all right?
There you go.
Excellent.
Send us a photo of that next 80-pound beaver you find.
Yeah. Seriously, though, text Ross the pictures of the critters you catch, and we'll put them out on social media. Like, look what Corey caught today.
I can't even fathom what that look. That's
yeah. Right. We don't do a whole lot of beaver trapping anymore, but yeah, I can send you tons of pictures of squirrels and raccoons and bats.
Do it. That's what we want.
Thanks.
In action.
Talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, thanks, Corey. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
515-517-2303. It's the Rush Radio Show at therushradio.com.
Oh, boy. That's right, Brian. It's tailgate season, and Central City's got everything a good tailgate needs.
We have all the beer,
All the good party drinks.
And don't forget the White Claw.
hot dogs, brats, and chips.
Kegs and eggs.
And if you fill up your cooler with beer from Central City, we'll throw in the ice for free. By the way, what team is this supposed to represent?
All the teams, Brian. All the teams. I don't discriminate. Tailgate time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage & Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage & Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage & Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
Is something in your attic keeping you up at night? Don't let unwanted guests take over your home. With over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's trusted expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly wildlife solutions at a fair price. We safely remove bats, squirrels, raccoons, birds, and more so you can sleep soundly again. For a free estimate, call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400.
Hey, I'm Mason out here at Mini of Des Moines, one of the motor advisors. Currently this month, Love is in the Air. We are doing a $1,000 mini loyalty on Countryman, $750 on all other models excluding the BEV. Also, we are doing a $500 Conquest cash on select models, so you do get a benefit even if you're not a Mini owner. So for more information, stop at our showroom, come see me. We're happy to get that information going, or see us on our Mini website, miniofdesmoines.com.
When it comes to mortgages, no one is more trusted than Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines, Iowa's top mortgage banker for the past 5 years. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Believe it or not, spring is coming. When it does, be absolutely organized with custom garage or closet systems from Absolute Garage and Closets. Turn a winter mess into a spring success at our showroom in Urbandale or visit absolutegarage.net.
If you have a pest problem with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's local expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly pest solutions at a fair price for your home or business. Call us today at 515-218-3400.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Listen all day to the Rush Radio Show at therushradio.com. Click that Listen Live button or just download the podcast. It's that simple. Of course, Ross and myself, Travis Justice, live every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 8. I'm going to be leaving town next Thursday. I'm going to be in Italy, so we got to get Ross up to speed on running a show. Nervous about that?
No. No, not at all.
Well, the board's a little different than a normal radio board. So
yeah, I mean, we'll figure it out. You guys are coming to town this weekend.
Either that or we're going to do a Zoom call.
Boy.
That's what I said to Owen. I said,
Zoom
as
call
much
would
as
be totally fine because I could Zoom with my Mac. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you guys could walk me.
Yeah.
So we can
and I think we can share the screen, but you're going to have to download some software and do some connections and stuff like that.
Do what?
Yeah. It's free software though, so don't panic.
I'm not worried.
Oh, I'm panicking. I am panicking.
Well, listen, if it's work in progress. I think again, we've done a good job of setting the expectations here. I think of like, hey, we're figuring this out.
Pretty soon we can't use that as an excuse though. We're can you believe tomorrow we're a month into this thing? Tomorrow's our 1 month anniversary.
Wow.
That month went by quick.
That did.
Went very, very quick. It's been fun though. I've had a blast, and I hope everybody listening to the show has enjoyed the new way to find it. Changing listening habits is a very hard thing to do. But as your broker Mark Charter has found out, it's probably more accessible than it ever has been, and we'll continue to find ways to make it more accessible.
See, that's what I hear, Trav, over and over from people is like the availability of it and that flexibility, having the live, the interactive, all of it. So, yeah, loving it. Thanks a lot. This has been a really fun month. Big thanks to Willis. Big thanks to Central City, all of our great
Bats
sponsors
and Bugs,
that have hopped on board. All of them.
Absolute Garage, wonderful. Gary Presnall.
Dude, Absolute. I can't. Absolute's a fun one. I'm going to meet with Marty tomorrow. The stuff they can do for your house is incredible. So we'll talk about Absolute a little bit more. But
515-517-2303. Tomorrow is also a big day, Ross, as the pre-sale for the Indiana Fever against the Brazilian national team, which normally would not be a very big deal, goes on sale at Carver Hawkeye. What Hawkeye fans are going to, or Caitlyn, I shouldn't say just Hawkeye fans, but what Caitlyn Clark fans are going to find out is that the University of Iowa is not running this event. It's being run by a third-party event. So just because you have priority points does not mean you are going to get priority. Just because you have season tickets does not mean you are going to sit in the seats that you normally seat at Carver Hawkeye.
The arena doesn't maintain that priority for those.
They're giving it up. They're giving it up. That's why tickets are $75 to $250. And that's why you have a limit of 4 per person. So they're going to limit the sale. Your priority points don't count here. You get the pre-sale for like Kennett Club members, iClub members, and season ticket holders. Now, they've sold so many season tickets that the pre-sale may sell the whole thing out, right? And so the pre-sale goes tomorrow, and if there's any left, the general public will be able to buy on Friday, but I'm going to bet there won't be many tickets available for the general public because I think Iowa has isn't all Carver Hawkeye season tickets at this point? They sold that many season tickets?
Not all, but to your point, like a huge chunk.
And if you're buying 4 tickets at a time, that's going to be a tough ticket. Now, I will say this. Watch out on the secondary market. If you want to go see Caitlyn Clark play basketball, which a lot of people will, and the only place you can get them is on the secondary market, just be careful. Don't get ripped off because we don't want you to get ripped off.
And that it happens a lot.
Yeah.
Be careful.
And maybe, just maybe keep listening to the Rush Radio Show. Maybe.
Did you just wink at me?
I did. Maybe keep listening to the Rush Radio Show. Who knows if a pair of tickets falls in our lap? It could happen.
How do you wink without moving your mouth? I have to contort my face. I can't. There. But see, it doesn't look right. When you wink, it looks like you're trying to tell me something. When I wink, it looks like I'm having a medical emergency.
You're having an epileptic seizure?
Wink at me. Wink at the crowd. Look at that. See, it makes me feel like I'm on the inside. Yeah, all right. I found out something I needed to know. Now watch. Tell me what your reaction was when I wink.
It looks like it hurts. Looks like you have something in your eye.
It looks like it hurts.
It's like it's not effortless. Let's put it that way.
Looks like it really looks like you're trying.
Yeah, it's like you're trying too hard, Ross. There's muscles in your face that just don't.
I can't do where some people. Mike said Ross needs medical attention. Some people you can wink and only half the people in the room know you winked.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's not the case with me. If I wink with my other eye, this is what the other side of my face does.
And somebody's calling an ambulance going, that guy's in trouble. That guy's in serious trouble.
This guy's face is attacking itself. Somebody send help.
This is a classic example of something that one person could do that you just take for granted. Like, I can't whistle. Owen and Mary can whistle with
I'm a good whistler.
With their finger. Can you whistle with your finger?
I can't do the loud whistle, but I can. I'm a good whistler. I won't do it now because not good for anybody's ears or Mike. But I love whistling.
All right, Mike says try raising your eyebrow. No. Only your eyebrow, like a rock.
You talking about making your face look like it hurts? Can't do it.
Am I doing it?
You have a camera. You can't see if you're doing it or not.
Well, I'm looking at the camera, not the screen.
I can't tell.
I'm moving. Yeah.
I can't tell.
Drake's in action tonight. The Bulldogs, with a win, will wrap up the Missouri Valley Conference regular season title outright. Right now, it's a shared title. They'll get the trophy outright if they beat Evansville tonight. Evansville, I think, is 5-5 in its last 10 games. I'm not going to call this a trap game, but it won't be an easy game by any means. But the way Drake's been playing, and it'd be nice just to wrap this thing up. The good thing is they've got the double win over their 2 wins against Northern Iowa, and they've split with Bradley. So what the tie if it did go to a tiebreaker, I think Drake's sitting pretty good to still get the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
And Bradley and Northern Iowa would either be the 2 or the 3 seed, which again would not pit those two teams against each other until the final of the Missouri Valley Conference tournament. So there's a lot on the line. You want to lock up this number 1 seed tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot on the line here. And, Trav, I do think the at-large bid thing is probably long gone. But tonight, you say this is a trap game, or the game you can look past because you're supposed to win this game.
Yes.
And should lock it up tonight, and then you won't have to worry about it. I mean, it doesn't mean you take your foot off the gas, but is that a good thing for this team? I mean, yes, it is. What am I saying? I was going to say, my thought for a moment there was maybe locking it up this early. You know, you're going to have now a solid 10 days before you go down to St. Louis.
Well, no, because they'll finish up on Sunday, and then their first game will be Friday, I believe.
Okay, so I'm thinking 10 days from today. Okay, so that's true. Yeah, well, 8, 9, 10 days. And you want to stay sharp in that time.
But you got a game in between. So
the
season ends on Sunday.
Right.
Yeah. Now, our good buddy, and I wasn't going to do this, but I think we should. Our good buddy, Justin Miller, of course, is doing the Media Row podcast, and he is covering Drake on a regular basis. He was scheduled to go to the Missouri Valley Conference tournament. He needs some help. If anybody can help him, because his car broke down. He's got like $2,500 worth of damage on the car, and he's unemployed. So if you want to help Justin out, Ross at therushladio.com. Ross at therushladio.com. Because
I'd do everything I can to help him.
Yeah,
I promise you that. I'm doing everything I can to help him.
Yeah,
Trying.
So it's first of all, tell him to get rid of that Mercedes, because we're going to send him to Willis Automotive, and we're going to say
that's what we should do, right? Say, hey, he's got this Mercedes that needs $2,500 worth of work.
It's probably you might want to say, hey, Justin, for the age of the car, it might be totaled out at this point. Putting $2,500 into that car is probably more than the car is worth.
We should send him. We absolutely should say we don't know, because we don't, but we know the guys that do know.
Yeah, and some I've had mechanics tell me, yeah, don't do this. It's not worth. Well, it was Mary's Nissan Xterra that she had down in New Orleans. He's like, yeah, the car's not worth as much as we're going to put into it, and I can't guarantee that something else won't break later on. That's where we just, gave her a.
Look, I can do this. When I'm not happy, I can curl my lip effortlessly. See that? The rest of my face doesn't move at all.
You know who you look like? You look like Elvis. You look like Elvis Presley.
Courtney's dad was mad at me.
See? Know your audience, man.
He likes Elvis the way that your family likes Elvis. Like, I mean, loves Elvis. Now, there's a lot of people out there that love Elvis.
I mean, did you tell him you hated John Wayne right after that?
I did. At some point, whatever your sacred cow is, I'm going to come for it. I promise. Whatever it is. If it's John Wayne,
Ross just wants to pee in your Cheerios, folks.
I'm such a dick. That's all I want to do is just ruin your happiness. I find the thing that you love, and I go, oh, you know why that thing sucks? Dude,
let me tell you. Sit down.
And I'm sorry for ranting here.
No, I love your rants.
Courtney calls me one day, and she was like, oh, this recipe, I love it. It's a Tricia Yearwood recipe. She makes her own cookbooks. And I'm like, well, you mean it's somebody else's recipe that Tricia Yearwood put her name on? She's like, no, it comes from Tricia Yearwood's cookbook. Yeah, I know. Betty Crocker didn't make all those recipes. Tricia Yearwood gets those recipes from some other person and puts her name on them and sells them in a cookbook. She's like, why are you the way you are?
I've asked this for years.
Why do you have to do that? And then I just am left there like I am when I talk about Elvis, and I have to just go, I'm sorry.
How many times have you apologized in your life?
Oh, my God. Not as much as I should have. I'll tell you that. not nearly as much as I should have.
That's fair. Diana Taurasi retired from the WNBA yesterday. 20 years rather in the WNBA. You know, you're talking about maybe one of the greatest women's basketball players of all time, who came along, who Ross maybe late to the party or was early to the party, to the party, right? You wonder. I mean, great career, over 10,000 career points in the regular season, 1,700, playoff points. Leader in WNBA three-pointers. But the way the league is growing now, she's going to be left out of, the money that's going to be made by WNBA players, and maybe even the stardom that WNBA players are going to have.
Okay. We've made these comparisons before from Caitlyn Clark to Michael Jordan, where there's this meteoric rise that's happening with the popularity of women's basketball on the shoulders of this one person. Okay, but we've talked in the past about how we're all standing on somebody's shoulders. We all are. We're all standing on somebody's shoulders. Michael Jordan was standing on Dr. J's shoulders. Dr. J was standing on Wilt Chamberlain's shoulders, and all those other guys, Bill Russell, all that group of guys that came before them. The popularity grew and grew and grew, and then all of a sudden Michael Jordan, Lisa Leslie,
Cheryl Swoops, Nancy Lieberman.
We could do. There's that group of players that us sports fans remember and recognize. Oh yeah, I know Lisa Leslie. Like, she's superstar, one of the greatest of all time. What I think will happen, Travis, and I think you could even go back to baseball with the money thing that happened with baseball. As the money exploded into the 80s and 90s, you had guys like Bob Feller that were like, whoa, wait a minute, I'm a Hall of Famer. And a dude that is pitching 6 innings a year makes more money than me? They're standing on your shoulders, Bob. They're standing on your shoulders.
You paved the way for me.
But this thing will happen where that rising tide will raise all ships. And while Diana Taurasi, you're right, dude, you nailed it. She was just the wave before the tsunami. But I think as that thing goes, she'll kind of be that Dr. J type of figure.
That's fair. I would agree with that.
Where revered, looked at as, man, one of the greats, one of the true characters, wonderful ambassador of the game, terrific talent. Just there right before the tsunami hit. Thanks for creating. You were one of those waves. We're standing on your shoulders, and Caitlyn Clark, I feel like, has done a really good job of acknowledging all of that. She's never once tried to be like, man, aren't you all lucky that I showed up? Not that I've seen or heard. What I've seen and heard and felt from Caitlyn Clark was, man, I'm lucky to be at the top of the podium here. And I can't wait to see who's standing on my shoulders next. So yeah, that's what I think. I think Diana Taurasi, you nailed it, dude. She was there before this rocket ship got lit. Yeah. Right. But I think that she'll benefit from it.
Yeah, and she does a good job with Sue Bird with she's got a podcast out there. She'll be front and center. She'll probably be doing a lot of television. And what I like about her, she's not afraid to have her opinions. A lot of Iowa fans didn't like her opinions about Caitlyn Clark going in the league. But at least she had an opinion, right? I mean, she put herself out there.
And with time will come perspective, and I think that when she's on ESPN, or whatever women's the WNBA ends up being broadcast on, I think that you'll hear her say something to that effect. Man, when I was a competitor, because what will happen is she'll see an athlete react in that way, and it will remind her of it, and she'll go, that's competitiveness. That's not, and her analysis will then break that down. So, hey, I remember when I did that with Caitlyn Clark, when I was angry about it, just like people did with Tiger Woods. When Tiger came onto the scene, we had that Diana Taurasi reaction. Like, this person? 10 years later, those same guys were on the Golf Channel going, man, I'm glad he showed up because I get paid millions of dollars to talk about it now.
Willie Farrell. Diana Taurasi looks like the dinosaur in Toy Story. Thanks for making us laugh, Willie. Appreciate it. Hey, you a parlor pizza guy at the state fair?
No.
Parlo?
If I go to no, not really. Why?
Well, they're pulling out. They're retiring. They're not going to have the. Yeah.
Well, other state fair news, dude. Did you see that our friend Joni Bell got the contract for the building there?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, the one that didn't pay anybody?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The old Stierenstein, which will be rebranded as something else. I don't know if Joni's announced that yet, but that's huge because Joni is Rib Shack. Oh man, she had the other one that was golly, right next to it. Why can't I think of it? Darn it. Anyway, so that will be whatever she does there, it's going to be a home run. Every year, Joni's one of the people that has one of the top new food items.
And you have a fair meeting today, right? Remember you scheduled it last week with our buddy? I knew you guys didn't send out a calendar invite, and I was getting a little worried about that. I think it's 11 o'clock downtown with Brooks.
Oh, see, when you say fair, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Is that, why? That's interesting that you'd call that fair, but okay, yeah.
Well, I mean, he's on the fairgrounds. I mean, JR's is on the fairgrounds.
Okay.
Bacon
right.
Fest is going to be at the fairgrounds.
That's
Just
fair,
don't forget about it.
When you said that, I got nervous. I'm like, what the hell? The hell have I double booked? What did I forget about this time? No. If you just said you got a meeting with Brooks today, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I know.
Brooks just texted. He has it down. And thanks for listening, Brooks. So don't blow him off.
That's it. Matt wrote in, what's your cheese? It's like variations on these amazing grilled cheeses. Ooh. So happy for Joni.
You can't beat a good grilled cheese. Nothing better than a good grilled cheese.
Be interesting what happens at the fair, though, because Joni, she had a big footprint there, right behind right behind JR's, right by the slide and all that. I mean, kind of an important spot there behind the stage. So that will create a vacuum where somebody's going to have to move into that really valuable spot. All the shakeups at the Iowa State Fair. That's what they should call the 2025 fair. Shake it up.
And I was kind of sad to see this news this morning as we wrap things up, but Backcountry in Beaverdale's closing.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
I love That's where I bought a lot of my stuff for my Trek.
Because, I mean, it's just hard to make it in that world today. I remember going to Backcountry when I was going to Grandview back in the early 90s, or late 80s, early 90s. That was like the coolest store because it had like the best stuff. And I'm guilty of probably why they're going out of business. You know, I'm looking for a backpack to take out of Gary. I just go to Amazon now because I'm just like, okay, it's cheaper.
Man, I'm still.
I know, and I'm guilty.
I'm a local. I want to try it on. I want to
touch
to
it,
a
feel
person.
It. Yeah,
I'm not an annoying guy.
You're not annoying, but 51 years in business. I didn't know this. They started in Ames and then moved to Beaverdale in 1986. But
man, I had not heard that news, Trav. That's disappointing.
Well, I'm glad I read the Des Moines Register every morning.
Listen, I do read the Register a lot. I really do.
Yeah, but you have to wait for it to get delivered because you still get a hard copy.
No, I actually wait till I'm at the coffee shop because they get a hard copy.
Oh, so you get it for free from somebody else. You're like, oh, who's got the paper? Who's got the paper?
Hey, Mike wrote in and said the Rib Shack's going to remain. So this will be like Joni's going to do an additional. I assumed that they would move that operation to a permanent facility. Whoa.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. Way too much work for me. But I'm looking for. We're past the halfway point to the fair, and so less than 6 months to the fair. So the planning starts. That's right.
I like that attitude. I like that perspective on it.
Yeah, very much so. Again, Drake in action tonight. Northern Iowa's in action tonight. They're going to be hosting UIC, so a big game for the Panthers as they still try to play for either that number 2 seed in the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. And, of course, Drake can wrap up the regular season title and clinch that overall number 1 seed tonight. Make sure to follow us on the social media channels. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram. Thanks for listening today to The Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive at therushradio.com.
Doug Burgess, Service Manager here at Willis Infinity. As we move into 2025, I want to say one final thank you for what 2024 has brought to us. Getting the opportunity to meet many of your customers, and for you, voting us the number 1 Google-ranked dealership in the Midwest. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And to know why, and to have that Willis experience yourself, stop on in or go online to make your appointment at willisinfinity.com.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbox to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Is something in your attic keeping you up at night? Don't let unwanted guests take over your home. With over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's trusted expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly wildlife solutions at a fair price. We safely remove bats, squirrels, raccoons, birds, and more so you can sleep soundly again. For a free estimate, call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage and Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage and Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage and Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
When it comes to mortgages, no one is more trusted than Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. With more than 25 years of experience, Gary has been Iowa's top mortgage banker for the past 5 years. With creativity and professionalism, Gary is dedicated to finding unique programs to help you afford the home you deserve. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank/Gary Presnall. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, I'm John Linares, Sales Manager at Willis Lexus, and this month we're going to help you find your perfect match. Stop out and see us. We've got great inventory of NX and NX Hybrid, TX, and ES. We have more inventory arriving daily, and this month Lexus has also brought back the very popular 42-month lease. Stop out and see us or visit us online at willislexus.com.
Not too many places hit all the right notes. But when it comes to great atmosphere and delicious scratch-made food, Truman's is the name to know. Game days are for Chiefs fans, but every day is for the food fans. Truman's, get to know us by name.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.